Look who deigns to grace us with his presence.
Hello everyone and welcome back. We have just received news about the Neuhof stables.
The Neuhof stud farm's been raided. We don't know much about what happened, just what that Neuhof stable boy told us. Get your arses mounted up and let's ride out, on the double. Maybe we'll catch up with that rabble.
If you like the way we're covering the game, feel free to leave a like and subscribe for more.
Planning to hold us up much longer, or can we finally get the fuck out of here?
This mission has a lot of options and dialogue that you can easily miss. The first is that if you leave the castle, they will set off without you, but as long as you don't dilate too much, you can still join them at the stables. If you do take more than an hour or two though, the captain will be rightly upset.
You! Where have you been? All that bold talk and then you disappear? That's not the kind of man I need.
But
We waited for you while people here suffered, damn it. We could have caught the ones who did it, and because of you, they've run off.
because
Silence! I don't want to hear it.
It's not right to blame everything on you, but that's about the extent of it. The captain clearly doesn't care much about you, but it does allow you to investigate. But make sure to keep the instructions he gives you in mind.
Just don't get in anyone's way, don't go too far, and come back here when you're done.
They might sound like standard instructions for this kind of situation, but you might find yourself in a lot of trouble if you ignore them. It's very easy to miss the beginning of this conversation.
You can go to hell, all of you.
But I'd just like to know.
And I'd like for my friends not to be murdered, while you sit warm and safe behind those castle walls.
But we came just as soon as we could.
You tell that to França, lying there. Fucking lying there, splitting to you like a pig. Go see him. Go fucking tell him that you came as soon as you could. What a fucking mess. You should have fucking been here last night.
If you have advanced medical skills, then you can use them here.
what's wrong with your arm?
Only a more experienced Henry would have those skills, in other words somebody who didn't follow the main quest right away. And as you can see, the game has concessions for that situation. From a role-playing perspective, I see it as Henry applying the knowledge he acquired while helping the Scarlet's wounded, so it becomes a nice little reward for his good deeds. The stable hand isn't able to confirm too many details, but he can confirm that Runt was here. He also repays you for your medical treatment by giving you hints of where you can look for clues. You can still find the clues without those hints, but it does point you in the right direction. The lady of the house doesn't have any first-hand information, but she points you towards several people you can speak to. Yakov you've already spoken to. If you follow the trail of blood and corpses, it will send you towards the main stables. Looking at the physical clues, it seems that the killing started where you began, and then continued down to the main stables. Down at the main stables you see Mark. He'll confirm that the horses were killed first and the barns were set on fire. That's unusual because you'd want to loot them first.
You're certain it was the animals first and then Smil, not the other way round?
I'm certain.
It's also unlikely that that was done to forestall pursuit, but an important clue that he gives you is that they seem to be quarrelling amongst themselves.
Something happened. They quarrelled.
In the back? Where?
Towards the woods. To the north. They were trying to get away.
So some of them were running away and the others were fighting?
Aye. For a time.
He also hints towards the woods to the north.
So the others fled as well.
Where? Where did they run to?
To the north. Into the woods.
Ginger is the third person suggested by the lady of the house. He's standing near the entrance to the main stables, and it's very easy to miss.
What? Who's there?
Easy. I just came to ask.
I don't know anything.
When you speak to him, he's unable to give you anything of substance. Even if you're unable to convince anyone to speak to you, you're still able to look at the physical clues.
Tracks. Someone fled to the north.
You can find bloodstains and tracks near a sack of spilled flour. They point towards a fence which has obviously been torn down.
Aha. This wasn't done by animals. They must have gone into the woods this way.
Beyond that, there's large puddles of blood pointing further towards the woods. At this point there's a hidden option to go back to Captain Bernard. He'll tell the nearest guard to go with you and investigate. So if you're struggling with combat, then this is a good option to take up. If you go by yourself, you'll have the opportunity to overhear two bandits having a conversation. You have the opportunity to hear what happened from their perspective, what they think about the other group of bandits, and about what happened with Ginger. This confirms Mark's account about the quarrelling and the swearing.
They went deeper and deeper.
You can make it. No. I'm not going anywhere.
That bastard really got me good.
How could it have gone so wrong? And who the hell brought those other fellows here? Fucking greenhorns. One kill that ginger brat from the farm, and then they slice you up. We'll find those bastards, and I'll send them straight to hell myself.
But I'll already be there, waiting for them.
Don't talk that way. We'll get back to the camp and they'll take care of you there.
No, my friend. I'm not long for this world. Go, before someone finds us here. Don't worry about me.
You know I can't leave you here. If they find you...
I know. I wanted to do it myself, but I don't even have the strength for that.
What kind of nonsense is that?
Christ's sake, what other options do I have? I won't make it to camp and you know it. You want to leave me here to die in agony?
All right, then. How? How should I?
Just do it quickly.
If your stealth is good enough, you're able to knock one of them out, but unfortunately there's no benefit from that. The game assumes that you would have killed them, but I think it would have been a very nice touch if you could capture them alive and bring them in for questioning. If the bandit is too difficult to defeat, then you can go back to Sir Bernard for reinforcements.
I'm fucking dying here. Nobody can match me with iron in their hands and... some damn peasant kills me. Dagger covered in horse shit.
You'll eventually go back to Sir Bernard with your findings.
There were bandits here, 2 of them, right there to the north in the woods.
What? You saw them?
They attacked me and they're dead.
You killed them?
One of them. The other was already dying.
Did he have anything on him?
I didn't check.
Maybe you should have. I'll take the men and scout the woods. Right, men. Check the area.
And if you go back together with them, you'll finally get a bit of praise.
What the fuck happened here? It was a job well done, lad. I don't reckon we'd have ever found those bandits without you.
Why, it's a hoof pig. Someone in Neuhof must know more about it.
Taking the hoof pig and speaking to the people at the stables confirms that it belongs to Ginger, and they also point you towards the charcoal burners.
Sometimes the charcoal burners come to see him. You get on well with them. If you follow the stream from the stud farm towards Rate, you'll come across one of their camps. Only
what?
Ginger didn't go that way, though. He always went by the big road, through the woods in the direction of Uzhitz.
Jakob says that he knows of some charcoal burners to the south, but he also mentions that Ginger always went to the north. So if you're paying attention, the quest directions to go to the south should be obviously wrong. If you ask a few of the other workers at the main stables about charcoal burners, a couple of them will direct you towards the north, so you can save a bit of time by paying attention there. When you report this to Captain Bernard, he'll direct you to find Ginger as the only witness to the raid.
But if his friends really are hiding him, I doubt they'll talk to my men. You should search for him, Henry. Go, before the trail turns cold. I'll send a report to Ratai.
Very well, sir. I'm looking for Ginger, a stable boy from Neuhof.
There's a number of charcoal burning camps in the woods to the north, and if you ask around, you'll eventually be directed towards the one nearest to Talmberg. The most straightforward way is to speak to the head of the charcoal burners. If you spoke to the other charcoal burners in the other camps, then you'll be able to convince him to tell you about Ginger. But before he'll tell you, he'll ask you to get rid of a few bandits that have been asking for Ginger. There's a few other ways to get the information as well. There's a pair of twins you can overhear having a conversation about you.
I think that fellow is in with them.
He could be, I suppose. But what if he isn't?
If he really is one of his lordship's men, maybe he could help.
Maybe. On the other hand, he could be one of them cutthroats trying to trick us.
Oh, I doubt it. Common thieves wouldn't be clever enough to come up with a lie like that.
Only they ain't no common, are they? They're robbers and murderers and as crafty as foxes.
True enough. Let's pray he's not one of them.
When you speak to them, they'll ask you to get rid of the same bandits as the head of the charcoal burners did. There's a third charcoal burner you can speak to about the matter. You can either threaten him or bribe him into giving you information.
Well, if you need to find him so badly, I suppose I could get a reward.
I'm investigating a crime, not bartering for a chicken.
Well then, I'm sure you've got some silver on you. Just give it to me, and it'll be a done deal.
And what if I bashed your face in and had you dragged off to the stocks in Rat-Eye?
No need for that. All I wanted was a bit of silver, and instead I get the whip.
Spit it out, will you?
Well, fine. I've heard that they're hiding him in some remote cottage at the edge of the forest on the way to Uzhitz.
That didn't hurt too much now, did it?
But it's not very specific. You can find the two bandits in a small camp towards the north of the creek. There's a very small path that branches off from the main one, heading off to the north. The two bandits are usually there most of the time, other than a short period during the afternoon. If you have a bit of stealth and a bit of patience, then you can overhear some very interesting conversation.
Why the fuck are we supposed to wring his neck?
You're hesitating about killing someone? May the Lord fucking smite me.
Stick it up your ass. There's not a squeamish bone in me. I just don't know why we should do it. What could he do to us? Nothing.
Look, they say he recognised someone and that he can still point his finger at others.
Maybe, but so what? Soon enough, he'll just be able to point at a pile of rotting corpses.
But what if it doesn't work out like that? Let's just find him, chop them fingers off and bash his brains out. We can't be too safe.
I suppose. Let's just find him then.
Yes.
I've been thinking it over, and I got an idea.
An idea? Wonders will never cease.
I was thinking we should go there, lop someone's head off, and the others will soon tell us what they know.
Well, they might. Then again, they might split your skull with an axe.
They wouldn't dare. No more than those cowardly fuckers at the stud farm.
That was different. It was night, there was lots of us, and Runt was with us, and there's not many have the balls to face him. Here, there's only two of us.
So what do we do then?
Sit tight and keep watch. Sooner or later, that boy will turn up. We'll skewer him, and that will be that.
I reckon we should never have taken those idiots along.
Yeah, only who could have known it would turn out like that?
For all the use they were, we might as well have taken a bunch of wenches.
It's always better to have more people for a job like that, though.
Maybe, but then there's more taking a cut.
You didn't mind before when you hooked up with that, what's his name? Holy?
Pious. Yeah, and a treacherous bastard he turned out to be.
Their conversations are well worth hearing. They give you a bit more background information just like the bandits of Neuhof did. There's a number of ways of dealing with them.
Folks, he's lugging a corpse. What's this place coming to?
The obvious one is to simply attack them, and you can do that if you're a good enough fighter. Another one is to choke one of them and then attack the remaining one before he wakes up. Or you can wait for them to go to sleep and then stealth them both.
Christ! Oh.
Or you can poison their food while they're patrolling in the afternoon. Once you've dealt with the bandits, then the charcoal burners will tell you where Ginger is.
Ginger is hiding out in a ruined hut not far from.
And when you find him, he'll start blabbering off with the mouth.
It's not my fault. There was nothing I could have done to help. I was frozen solid. I couldn't even open my mouth. I couldn't even get a peep out. They would have killed me if I'd said anything. I couldn't stop what happened. I'm not to blame.
He'll tell you about some guy from Uzhitz that limps. If you were simply following the quest markers, then there wasn't one to report to Captain Bernard before you left looking for Ginger. And if you didn't, then you get a right bollocking once you go back.
Well, well. Look who deigns to grace us with his presence.
I was looking for that boy and
you didn't bother telling anyone.
I had to follow the trail before it went cold.
And what if some bandit skewered you and left you for dead? We'd never find you because you told no one where you were going. How would I explain that to Sir Radzig, eh? I really don't know, my lord. He disappeared without saying a word to anyone. Never crossed my mind he wanted to get himself killed. Silence! Keep your ignorant mouth shut when I'm giving you the benefit of a veteran's wisdom. You do what I tell you, answer only when I ask, and not go roaming off whenever you feel like it. I'd like to kick your arse back to the castle and be shut of you. But it's true, you're a fucking peasant who knows nothing about soldiering, and it's my job to whip you into shape, so I'm not done with you yet. God have mercy on you if you ever try anything like that again. If you're lucky, I'll only have you whipped and clapped in the stocks. Because if I get my way, you'll be hanged for desertion. I hope we've got that out of the way. I've made myself absolutely clear. And now, let's hear what you have to report.
You can then speak to the lady of the house and advocate on Ginger's behalf. He'll offer to teach you some things about horses. I like to roleplay that this is where you learn how to manage a horse, because you might have a horse, you might be able to ride it, but it doesn't mean you know how to take care of it. Or you can simply choose to pay for training.
Stop by and I'll show you something with the horses.
Once you arrive at Uzhitz, you can speak to your contacts either at the stable,
Must be that farmhand Lubosh. I don't know what the hell you'd want him for, and I don't much care.
or the scribe, or maybe even the innkeeper, about who the guy with the limp might be.
What would you want with him? Well, it's no skin off my nose. The bastard has a cottage on the edge of the village, by the road to Rete.
They don't have much good to say about him, but they do tell you where his house is. As you descend the hill towards the creek, you'll see quite a crowd gather around. It turns out that this is Limpy Lou's house, or more accurately, what's left of him.
Sacre. Nothing's ever easy.
There's a couple of clues that you can easily miss.
Judas.
One is the writing above the head.
Looks like this is meant to be a warning. But for who? And why? Maybe the gang had a falling out. But a bandit who knows how to write isn't something you see every day.
If you followed the main quest right away, then you wouldn't have had the opportunity to learn to read, so this would be a clue that you miss out on. The second clue is that there's armor hidden in the hay below your feet.
Armor? Well, it seems Lubosh wasn't your everyday crofter. And judging by the bloodstains, it looks like he lived the way he died.
If you show it to the bailiff, then he'll have a few comments to make on it.
God preserve us. Everyone knows he was a violent oaf, but I never thought he'd stoop to murder. At least he never did that here.
Have you noticed?
By asking around to various people, you get two clues. One is that Limpy Lou started seeing the priest.
He was even talking to the priest and went to confession.
The second one is that he was seen coming late in the evening on the day of the Neuhof raid.
I was coming from the tavern very late that night, and I caught a glimpse of someone entering the village. He looked like he was in a hurry. It was only a shadow against the sky, but after what happened, I wouldn't wonder.
For that.
When you speak to the priest, he'll tell you that he can't break his vows of confession, and that he'd like to speak to you in the evening.
But I can't betray the sanctity of the confessional. I'll tell you what, give me some time and I'll try to think up some way of helping you. Suppose we talk it over in the evening.
This is an unusual priest. If you look around his house, there's a few clues to it. One is that he seems to live with a woman.
You live here?
Of course.
I mean here? In the presbytery?
Yeah, right here.
In the presbytery? With the parish priest?
Yes. What's the matter? Don't you like me?
Yes, of course I like you.
So why are you surprised Godwin likes me too?
I'm not. I mean, I see. I think.
Another one is that there's weapons and armor strewn around the house. And the last one is that in the mornings he practices swordplay. You can bring up the fact that he lives with a woman during the discussion in the evening.
What of it? Have you never met a cleric who lives with a woman before? Mother Church won't let me take her to wife. Too afraid it might lose its property to any heirs she bore me. But she cooks and cleans. And, well, as a man I have my needs.
I'm not sure the parish priest at St. James would agree with you.
I heard he was a bit odd.
Eventually this will turn into a drunken orgy, and it seems some of us players enjoy it quite a lot.
It's getting quite late. What are your plans, Father?
What do you suppose? We have a drink, of course.
That sounds like a good plan.
I knew you wouldn't let me down. Well, I have to say that was a fine evening. Come on then, what's the holdup? We've no time to waste.
When you wake up in the morning, you can agree to Godwin's insane proposals. But there's also a few books you might want to pay attention to in this room. If you're quick, you can read Godwin's notes on Master Jan Hus and use that during the Mass. but usually you'll be fine by being a firebrand aggressive preacher. If you succeed, he'll tell you about Ricky from Ledechko, but if you don't, there's still another way to manage this problem.
So, about our bargain. Although it's a sin,
so is gluttony and fornication.
God does forgive a penitent.
Godwin won't.
It's not a hidden option per se, but it's one that most people wouldn't have seen.
I told you, no one ever came here to see him. If he was meeting anyone, it must have been somewhere else.
But where? I can't go around the whole county asking, can I? I could end up in Kuttenberg.
You might. They might even have records of that scoundrel there. But maybe you don't have to go that far. I just remembered he once boasted to me that he had a record in Rattay. There might be some mention there of who was with him at the time.
If you speak to either the bailiff at Uzhitz or Sir Hanush, then they'll direct you to the Black Book at Rattay.
And I need blessed relief from my suffering. May the Lord have mercy.
Well, I don't know what I can do for you except bring you a priest.
I'm not dying yet. I just can't get up.
I'm sorry to hear that. But I'm on the trail of those killers from Neuhof, and I need to know the names of the men who were sentenced alongside Limpy Lou from Uzhitz.
I can't remember. Once I write the record down, it goes straight out of my head.
It's essential that I find out those names. Is there anything I can do to help you get back to work?
I can't go to work when I can't stand on my feet. Konyash the apothecary has an embrocation that helps, but it costs dearly. If you brought me some, it might do the trick.
Alright, I'll try and get some for you.
There's a few ways to solve this. One is to sneak into the room with the Black Book.
Scribe Friedrich needs the embrocation for his joints.
What, again? He was here not long ago for some. He ought to make it last longer. I told him not to grease himself up so much. It could cause... the older he gets, the more foolish he is. Well, did he tell you such salvation is costly? Have a look in the shop for yourself.
Or buy an embrocation potion for the scribe and ask him to read it for you.
Could you find something for me in that book? The thing is, I don't
know how to read, do you? So what do you need to know?
I'm trying to track down those Neuhof cutthroats, and I need to find out the names of any cronies of Limpy Lou from Uzhitz.
Give me a while.
So did you find any mention of Limpy in the book?
I did. Apart from Lubosh, there's mention of some Anton from Vlashim and Hinek, known as Riki, from Ledechko.
Ledechko? That's a stone's throw from here.
Aye. Certainly closer than Vlashim.
Thanks for your help.
Thank you for that ointment.
There seems to be a difference in the names that the scribe uses and the Black Book mentions. So the book says Tonda, but the scribe says Anton. They're both from Vlashim though, and this is an important clue. That's for the future though. At this point, your path leads you to Ledechko. If you found this useful, feel free to leave a like and subscribe to be notified when new videos are published.